Now, ahead of the off-cycle Anambra governorship and 2027 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission says it is working on supplementary regulations to guide the review of declaration and return of results during the elections. Now, the Commission says the measure is necessary following the conflicting interpretations of Section 65 of the Electoral Act 2022, which deals with the review of election results. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu gave the hint in Abuja during the second quarterly consultative meeting with resident electoral commissioners. He also asked the RECs to intensify efforts to deliver credible elections, while also providing information on their plans to enhance the access of voters to polling units.
You are full-time commissioners. There are policy and procedural issues already determined by the Commission, which you need to implement without prompting from the headquarters in Abuja. Some of you are already doing so, but you need to intensify your effort. You do not need an elaborate conference or workshop to build the capacity of your staff to improve on their knowledge of new policies and practical innovations introduced by the Commission to improve electoral service delivery to Nigerians.
Well, Honorable Adebayo Balogun joins us now to share his insights on the escalating cost of politics in Nigeria and the challenges of political inclusion ahead of the 2027 general elections. He joins us live from our Lagos studios. Thank you so much, federal lawmaker, for joining us on the news tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great. If we can just begin to look at the numbers, from less than 2 billion naira in 1999 to not less than 305 billion naira in 2023. Many Nigerians are asking, why do we spend so much and still struggle with logistical breakdowns, late starts, and questionable election results? Where's the return on investment in Nigeria when it comes to elections, Honorable?
Well, thank you once again. Like any other social activity, it's always very expensive. To remove the election from the one of the government, even look at ordinary social associations, you know how much you have to spend relating with people, doing your posters, publicity. Generally, election is expensive anywhere. If you even go abroad, look at the American system. What they spend on publicity alone is more than what an average Nigerian spends in the election. But the area people actually complain about is about the area of money spent on the day of election or influencing the election. That is the area that is problematic. When you talk about vote buying or influencing the votes, that is the area that is problematic. But when you talk about the general money spent on election, I don't think Nigeria is doing badly. If you look at the value in terms of relatively, in terms of dollar rates, so we can't say we're really spending compared to what an American, we spend in American election or in UK. So, but what we are against is the use of money during election day, the buying of votes. That is the area that is questionable.
Well, that's quite interesting because we're actually looking at the bigger picture and the role that money plays in Nigeria's politics, and you might say Nigeria's democracy, and how it is undermining democracy in the country. Well, a recent report actually says that a House of Reps aspirant actually spends as much as 500 million naira to get the nomination forms. And I'm wondering, did it cost you that much to purchase nomination forms for the House of Reps? What can you really tell us in terms of, this exorbitant cost of nomination forms, apart from vote buying and what have you?
No, nomination form, I think the last one just about 7 million naira or 7.5 million naira. Nomination form is never that expensive. nomination form is just about, everything is below 10 million naira. I don't think any party will charge
nomination forms, just to get it clearly. In the bid,
nomination form.
Yes, the bid for the House, not including nomination forms and what it costs you, to achieve. You see,
You see, you can't get the real cost when it comes to election. It costs you emotionally, financially, psychologically. Everything comes together, and people spend so much even on your behalf that you don't even know. Sometimes you have relatives, you have associates. Some of them will do jingles on your behalf, publicity on your behalf, posters. So many activities comes in. But you, as an individual, yes, it's only what you have that you can spend. But if you're looking at cost of election, it's not something you can easily quantify. And that's one of even the reasons why when we set targets in the electoral, how much to be spent by individuals or political parties, it's very difficult to track because everybody spends just what you have, but there are a lot of people who spend on your behalf, depending on the kind of connections you have and the leverage you take advantage of. So these are areas, but like I said, as far as Nigerians are concerned, the major problem is what role does money play in the electionary system itself, the day of election, in influencing the vote. You see, there are a lot of Nigerians that even before they get into politics, they are philanthropists. You are someone who has the large pocket, you take care of people within your areas, and some people are even invited into politics because of the way being a philanthropist in the beginning and the way they've been assisting people within their society. So do you now add such money you spend willingly, just as who you are? Do you count that also as what you spend for politics? So these are some of the areas. That's why I said you cannot really quantify what goes into politics. But the important one, like I still said, is how do we ensure that we remove the influence of money in the decision people take on the day of election? How do we reduce the influence of money? So that is the area that is very, very key. And that is the area we are working on. And that's why within the Electoral Act, we've been able to put more stringent laws to ensure that people who try to influence vote or either buying vote directly or influence the voters, it should be at least brought to book. And we ensure that we are not just going to put the law this time around, it's more fully implemented. And the National Orientation Agency too has a lot of role to play when it comes to issues like, because it has become a social menace. Even the electorates themselves expect you to do something on the day election. And when we have a situation where there are even more people who wants to sell their vote, there are even the politician wants to buy. So it's a very big societal problem that we must really work on. People must know that their vote is very important. What you get at the end of the day depends on the person you elect. And if you elect someone because of the little inducements that you get, well, that might be all you need to get for the whole dispensation. So these are the areas we are working for. But when it comes to the total money of election, I don't think anybody, no even politician, can tell you this is how much I spent, because it's only what to spend on your own that you can say. But
isn't that troublesome in itself, that we cannot trace the spendings of election despite having laws in place? Why you say that elections are expensive anywhere you look in the world, and I agree with you. The question really is, are Nigerians getting value for the monies they budget to elections every election cycle? But let me ask you, you have the lawmaker here and you are the chair.
Oh wait, let me get something clearly now.
Yes.
Are you talking about the money spent by the individual or by government?
We're talking about all. Government is money in
like
elections.
INEC. Is money spent by INEC?
Both. By INEC, my first question to you was, why do we still get it wrong despite the money we push into conducting elections? But you have highlighted some points, and I just wanted to piggyback on some of them. You talk about laws. You are the chairman of Electoral Matters in the House of Representatives. And I wonder, why does enforcement remain weak, in your own opinion? Is it because the laws are not adequate? And if we cannot trace the monies in election, then how do we then make our elections fair, credible, and inclusive?
You see, one, if you look at, let's take vote buying, for example. Most of the times, people don't come to the polling units to start giving out the money. Sometimes these things are done in advance. So you don't even know where it happens. If you have someone who have given electorate money before they even get to the polling units, how do you get to track them? These are some of the areas we are looking into. And you see, during the last election, I think in Ogun State, there was serious issue on vote buying when one of the candidates who used, I think, a credit card or something like that was actually traced, and it was apprehended, and it's something we still have in court. And there have been a lot of convictions too at different levels when it comes to the issue of vote buying, those who are caught. And when we say there has not been conviction, because most of these things didn't really get to the headline. Maybe people only wait for when a serving minister or governor or so person is actually caught. But no candidate will go out on the day of election to start distributing money. There are a lot of people, you have a lot of well-wishers within your area. Because if you have to go by what the law says, what most of the things we do during the day of election, sharing of food, they are all electoral offences. You share food, you share drinks, you give people souvenirs during the day of election, and some of us feel, oh, we are just doing our bit. I'm not a contestant. I'm just trying to make people who came here to vote to at least to make things easy for them. You get canopies, you provide refreshments. All these are electoral offences because you are not supposed to do such. So even if the law should take its full weight, many people will be apprehended during the election day. So, but what we try to do at the end of the day is we are looking at some of these laws. Which one of them can we say are relevant? Which one of them should we enhance when it comes to enforcement? And when we talk about enforcement, we have some difficulties that we are facing. When a police officer that might be brought from maybe Kaduna or Sokoto to Lagos during the day of election, and maybe he apprehends someone, then he becomes the main witness, and maybe after the election is taken back to Sokoto. Then on the day of hearing, he's nowhere to be found because he's not being released at his own station to come to Lagos to be a witness. So most of the times you have issues with proceeding with such cases. So these are part of the issues that really stall enforcement. And sometimes when you win an election, no matter what offenses some people would have done against you, people will tell you, oh, you've won. Why can't you just give thanks to God that you've won?
Right.
Why do you want to continue to prosecute any offender? So these are some of the social areas that we need to really talk about. Then you must know that, look, let the law take its course, no matter who the person is. And no matter even if you have won election, let the enforcers do their job. Let the police do their job. Let INEC do their job. So we should not be sentimental when it comes to election prosecution. All right, electoral offences prosecution.
Very well said. Let the rule of law carry the day. Honorable Adebayo Balogun is Chairman House Committee on Electoral Matters, joining us tonight on Newsnight. Thank you very much for your contribution.